So 10.2, graphing linear equations in two variables. So it starts off where it says graph y equals 3 to the power of x. Now here's my approach. You can go in whatever direction you want to. I forget how many points your homework needs, but typically it only takes 2 points to make a line. They might ask for a third, but usually it's at least 2. Things to recall or know for the first time. Linear equations are written as y equals mx plus b, or can be written like this, where the b represents the y-intercepts, which basically just means the coordinate that goes through the y-axis. So that would be 0, comma, whatever b is. That would be that coordinate. The m represents the slope, or the rise over run. Run. All right, so I say, so I say all that. When it's in the form of y equals a number, it's pretty much in this form. The issue is there a plus b? No. If there's not a plus b, there's technically a plus 0. Right? If I add nothing to it, have I changed the value of this equation? No. But this at least tells me my coordinate here would be 0, comma 0, which is the center of the graph. So that's your first point. This being the slope or rise over run, I can put this as a fraction by putting it over 1. So if it's not already a fraction, which most of the times it will be, if it's a whole number, I can put it over 1, and now it's a fraction, right? Because what's 3 divided by 1? 3. So I've now divided by 1 and added 0, but I have not changed anything to the value of this equation. I do this because the rise over run. So I'm going to rise 3 points, and then I'm going to run 1 point. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to run 1. So I rise 3, run 1. So my new coordinate there is 1, comma 3. Because x goes first. Once you have 2 points, you should be able to hit the line option, and it will bloop, throw a graph there for you. Takes 2 points to make a line. You okay with that? All right. There is an alternative way. Instead of it giving it to you in a nice, clean y equals mx plus b format, they may give it to you in standard form. So let's talk about that real quick. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. And basically what this means is the x and the y are on one side and it's equal to a constant, right? Nothing to fret about. Let's look at one. So graph 3x plus 2y equals 6. When it is in C? Yeah. C. Kris Kringle. When it's in, yeah, when it's in this form, don't stress about looking for the y-intercepts and the slope. Instead, look for your y-intercept and your x-intercept. We'll still find the y-intercept, but we don't have to worry about finding the b. All right, so what I mean by that is I'm going to look for the x-intercept first. If it's an x-intercept, it crosses the x-axis. What is the coordinate of anything that crosses the x-axis? Or is on the x-axis, I guess I should say. Is it 0? So let's go back to this. If it was on the x-axis, how was the coordinate written? Right? The number, comma, 0. So it told me to go on the x-axis, but then I didn't go up or down. So with that said, my x-intercept is going to be some number, comma, 0. And that 0 represents which value? The y. So right now, I'm basically doing the fill in the blanks that we did in 10.1. I'm going to let y be 0, and I'm going to solve for what this unknown value is that I don't quite know yet. So when I do, go ahead. That's it. I'm going to plug it in. So this becomes now 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. Now what's going to happen to 2 times 0? 0. So I don't even need it no more. So I'm going to drop down my 3x equals 6. And how would I solve that? Very good. So there's your x-intercept. I told you it takes 2 points to make a line. So let's go look for our y-intercept. Ooh. What do we know true to be about a y-intercept? 0 comes first this time. So now I know the x value is 0, but I don't know the y value. So I'm going to re-plug in 0, but this time only to the x. So that now becomes 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 6. So trying to evaluate this, what's 3 times 0? So I really just have 2y equals 6. So what would I do next? So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I have 2 points. So now I can come over here and I graph this. How do I graph 2 comma 0? Perfect. There's my first point. How do I graph 0 comma 3? There you go. Again, 2 points make a line, so you'll be able to bloop. So intercept means where it crosses what we call the y-axis and the x-axis. So on the y-intercept, I now know x is 0. Versus on the x-intercept, it was y that was 0. Yeah. Oh, you're good. So we're good with this? Yep, I got you. We're going to do it. Definitely do some more of these. Yeah. I think that's pretty much the rest of this lecture. Minus a couple extra at the end of unique ones. Unique. Yeah, actually, it's the ones you do want to do. It's like those no solutions, infinitely many solutions. When you see it like this, you know it's like, oh, it's this, or whatever the case might be. Yeah. All right. So let's look at a third one. 2x minus y equals 2. Once again, it's not in that form of y equals mx plus b. I'm not going to stress to try on to put it in that. I'm just going to go look for my x and y intercepts. I just need 2 points to graph. That's what the questions here is. Graph this. I'm going to put INT a lot of times. That's short for intercept. One thing you'll learn about mathematicians, we're lazy. So if we can have a symbol for a word, that's what we're going to throw in there. All right, but INT will represent intercept. All right, so again, what do I know to be true about x-intercepts? What's 0? Y is 0. So I'm going to plug in, oh, I wrote this wrong, sorry. I'm going to plug in 0 in for my y to figure out what that x value is. So it's going to be perfect. Do I need this 0 anymore? Nope, goes away. Good. Perfect. So there's my first point. So then again, my y-intercept, what do I know to be true about this one? The x is 0. So come back, and now it's 2 times 0 minus y equals 2. 2 times 0, so that goes away. Negative y equals 2. How do I get rid of that negative? Just thoughts. Let's divide by a negative. 2 negatives make a positive, so I do get my positive y that I was looking for. But what is 2 divided by negative 1? Negative 2. Look at it as just 2 divided by 1. You would get 2, and then a positive and negative would make a negative. So now I got my 2 points. Now I can come over here and graph it. How do I graph 1 comma 0? Zero comma negative 2. 2 points make a line. Which was 0, so it just went away. I dropped my negative y because that sign is still attached to that y. I brought it down. Then my next step equals 2. I wanted to get rid of this negative. So someone, I forgot who, suggested to divide by negative 1. And so I did on both sides. 2 negatives do in fact give me a positive. So I got the positive y that I was looking for. And then I had to work this out. And then you plot the 2 points and you make your line. Oh yeah, no, I think this is pretty good for just freehanding that. So a lot of my students, when they had to do it by hand, we get our ID card, and then that's what we'll use. Or if I have some rulers on hand, I'll get rulers. I'm gonna let you take a whack at this one. Graph x plus 2y equals 6 by locating your x and y intercept and then plotting it. All right. So in the first one, we know that the 0 is y. So this becomes x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. What happens to that 2 times 0? Cancels out, and I'm left with x equals 6. So I don't have to actually solve anything. The answer is just 6. So on this one here, I now know the x is 0. So this becomes 0 plus 2y equals 6. Do I need the 0? Nope. So I got 2y equals 6. Divide by 2. And you get y equals 3. How do you graph 6 comma 0? How do I graph 0 comma 3? 2 points make a graph. Or a line. So 2 points make a line. So good there. So x-intercept, let y equals 0, solve for x. Y-intercept, let x equals 0, solve for y. All right. Get questions on it now, or? Right. I want to show 2 special cases, and then we'll try to do one more. So on these special cases, if you ever see something that says, what number are we on? 4. So 5. Graph y equals -1. If you ever see a y equals a number, to graph it, go to that value. So y is the up and down. So I'm going to go to -1, which is located right here. And if it's on the y-axis, I'm just going to draw a horizontal. Well, let me do a different color so you can see that's different. I want to draw a horizontal line. And that's your graph. So if it's on y equals, it'll cross the y-axis, and it's called a horizontal line. So if you get a y equals a number, just go to that number on the y-axis and then draw a horizontal line. Or pretend that's going through that -1 right there. All right, the second special case, if you're ever asked to graph x equals 4, this time, since it says x equals, I'm going to go to that value on the x-axis. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And this go around, I'll make a vertical line that goes through that point as straight as I can. And this again is called a vertical line. So anytime you have a y equals, horizontal line, you just need to know where you're at. If you ever get x equals, it's a vertical line, just gotta know where you're at.
So it doesn't matter if it's that number.
Yeah, I could have said x equals 2 and you'd go to 2 and put a vertical line.
What if it's a negative?
If it said x equals -2. 1, 2,
Okay.
right there. Wherever it's located. Yeah, that's a good question. Yep. All right, we got. Yep, negative or positive. So if I would have had y equals 2, right there. All right. So those are easy. Those are the good ones. Yeah. So I want to give you one more of these questions to call it a night. I want you to do what we were doing earlier, and I want you to graph 5x minus 3y equals 15. We'll find the x and y intercept and graph it. All right, so let's look at it. So I want the x-intercept, and my coordinate, I know the y value would be 0. So I'm going to replace that y with a 0. So this becomes 5x minus 3 times 0 equals 15. But what is -3 times 0? 0. So I do not need this. So I can drop down my 5x equals 15. So I'll divide by 5. Next gives me 3. To find the y-intercept, I know that the x is equal to 0. So now I'm going to replace the x with 0. So I get 5 times 0 minus 3y equals 15. The 5 times 0, what's that give me? That goes away. The key here is to make sure that sign stays with the number. A lot of students will lose that sign. But yes, I would want to divide by a -3. Perfect. -5. You're good. A positive, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then a positive negative make a negative. How do you graph 3 comma 0? How do I graph 0, -5? 2 points make a line. Ish. All right, and that's it. Graphing's not the funnest thing. Yeah. What we're going to be looking at next is more of the equations, going from slope to standard, standard back to slope. Graphing, once you understand slope and y-intercept, x and y-intercept, you can pretty much come up with a graph. It's the going back and forth to the different forms of the equation. It goes back to our literal equations that we were doing in chapter 9. One recommendation, test is Monday of next week. Lockdown browser is on the test. So make sure your computer has already got it downloaded prior to coming in on Monday. Right. And then you can already access it too. And it'll tell you, check lockdown browser or launch or something like that. And it will download everything for you so that when you come in on Monday at 5:30, you can immediately start the test rather than having to download things. It should already be on there. Yes. Yeah. It should already be taken care of. You've already done it for a different class. Yeah.
I might have to get